Well, it's an overcast day in Jurai. I thought I would correct some information out there on parallel societies. I think I should have originally started with the definition, because a lot of you who have contacted me are using parallel alternatives to your normal society. For example, your media, you're getting your media from people like Z Media, Aussie Cossack, all these different media people, John Adams. So the definition, I'm going to read it so I don't stuff it up. Parallel society refers to the self-organisation of a group of like-minded people, and we're definitely like-minded, with the intent of a reduced, remember that word, reduced or minimal spatial, social and cultural contact with the majority of society. So it's not about a total moving away from society. It's like-minded people, a group of them. They don't necessarily be in the same town, same area. It's not about communes and things like that. And they have the intent of a reduced or minimal spatial, social and cultural contact with the majority society. An example of this, as I said, Z Media alternative society. So if you're following the alternative, then the mainstream, then you already started to live in the parallel society. Schooling, there's now schooling where the government, there's a curriculum provided, but the government does not have anything to do with the running of the education of your child. That's a contract between the parent and the teacher, who is fully trained teachers. So they can't lock down the school or make your kids get the jab. Alternative currencies. I've been watching what's happening at Davos, the World Economic Forum, heading or leading to the Great Reset in 2000 and probably 35. And it has been a lot about parallel societies. They're scared of parallel societies. If you live in the country area, you're called a discontent, because you're going to be the enemy of those who want you to live in the cities, in these smart cities where you'll be monitored. Alibaba is a big company owned by the Chinese, and they've been working on, and they'll have it complete and probably in use within 3 years, where they will be able to monitor you and your carbon footprint. So you get in your car, your electric car, and they'll be monitoring straight away your carbon footprint. It's amazing. And then you get to the supermarket and they'll know exactly what supermarket you're at. They'll know what cans you've put in your trolley and you take out at the supermarket. They're looking at your carbon footprint. Will be on the carbon footprint of what you purchase will be on the cans or the packages or on the tractor. And if you buy a tractor for your farm, it will be sending back what carbon footprint it is using as well. So it's all about Davos equals carbon footprint. But what it is about this carbon footprint, it is a way to take the cars away from you, to monitor you, to manage you, and to hopefully they feel that you will be willing to get rid of your debt by selling the government your house or BlackRock or one of them, and you'll be able to rent there and be happy. Same with, it's very much about carbon footprint. So climate change, that's their big excuse. COVID was just an excuse to stuff everything up, to destroy small businesses, families, and that we will be happy that the government is doing all these things for us, which it should be doing anyway. The Great Reset, COVID-19, The Great Reset, the book, it tells you everything. It tells you about the 80% society. The 80% society was the country had to have 80% of its people jabbed before they could start doing business again with another country or another state. In Australia we tried, people like Dan, the Chinaman, they took it to the next level, wanted to go a lot higher, and same with all the Labor states. So one of the things that they're really petrified is an alternative currency, a parallel currency whereby they can't trace it. So like cryptocurrency. And one of the things that they're saying, and I was watching at Davos, is that cryptocurrency is not very carbon friendly because it uses computers in different areas around the world, and they're all got a carbon footprint. They're using power, or they're in a building, and etc, etc. And they're saying it's bad for the economy and because of its carbon footprint. Also, the banks can't control it, and they're wanting to bring in their own currency, a global currency, but it will be digital. One of the problems they've been having with bringing the digital currencies in the world is the poor, and that's why they need to go to a basic income. They call it global basic income because eventually they want it to be a global amount that people who've got enough and their business has been destroyed, their relationships have been destroyed, they'll get a base, everyone and the rich too will get a basic income, a certain amount each year. You won't be giving anything else, you get that amount. So that way they can bring in a global central bank and a digital currency that will work in. One of the good things is China's told them to get stuffed, that they're going to have their own like cryptocurrency, that you're going to have to buy products if you want to get it from them. And Russia is the same. They're saying we're not going to be accepting your digital currency. It will be our digital currency you'll be working on. They hate people being self-reliant because that's a parallel society. They need you to be reliant on corporations, and they need you to be reliant on the government. So all this doesn't apply to the elite. Definitely won't apply to the elite. Being a discontent myself, living in the country area, we grow all our own food. Now they don't like that, and wouldn't surprise me if they don't bring in rules that you won't be able to buy, grow your own food, but that won't stop the country people. If you look behind me over here, there's probably some chickens around. We get our eggs from next door. Our neighbour has honey, we get the honey, but they don't want that. They want it that you'll get it at the supermarket where they will be able to control and know what you're using, and then they could say at the end of the month, well, your carbon footprints, you've used too much of it. Maybe it's hot here at the moment, so we're going to turn your air conditioner off because you're a smart meter, because you've used your carbon footprint. There's so much control, so much monitoring. And if you have a look in Victoria, Dan the Chinaman's got his whole area that just monitors people, especially patriots, I imagine. Anyone who's a discontent, or anyone who's says things the government doesn't like, or more important, Dan the Chinaman doesn't like. And you can start to see that they don't care about your rights. They're looking for excuses. But I'll just go back to that again. You're already, many of you are already started living in a parallel society, because that's where you're getting the true goss on what's happening in the world. Parallel society refers to the self-organisation of a group of like-minded people with the intent of a reduced or minimal spatial, social and cultural contact with the majority society. Well, thanks again, and keep giving the finger to the man.